need to go here. There's, I can't think of the name of it, but it starts with use burnt bread as the base. What's it called?
Kombucha.
No, kombucha's really good though. I can't think right now. But I tried making homemade. I just fermented like pineapples in a jar. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Descent into Avernus and my newly bald head. Before we begin, some announcements. You can check out our podcast stuff on Mimics and Monstrosities at Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can listen to our backlog of our D&D Pirate campaign. Episode 56 of that campaign streamed this Wednesday. It'll be going up on the podcast this coming Wednesday. You can also listen to Sam. He's our Dungeon Master for Soldiers of the Lich Queen. And listen to his backlog of demystifying DMing on that podcast. And if you haven't watched Soldiers of the Lich Queen, do that now. Because today's episode of Soldiers of the Lich Queen was amazing. So if you haven't watched Soldiers of the Lich Queen yet, please check it out. It's a lot of fun. And me and Kirkland got into a lot of trouble today on it. So
good.
So good. So check it out. The VOD for that will be up on our YouTube channel tomorrow. What else? That's it. So, last we left off, you guys dealt with the death of Mortis, who was impaled through the back by Haruman on Haruman's Hill, as well as impaling Sefrin on one of the iron trees. Mortis' body was recovered, Sefrin was pulled off the iron tree, and you all decided to deal with Mortis' body and bury it somewhere in the Nine Hells. And began your trip back to, I believe you guys were heading back to Mad Maggie's Fort Knucklebone to kind of deal with the situation. And on the way, you encountered an emporium that wasn't there on your previous trip towards Harriman's Hill. and encountered the individual who runs the place, known as Mahadi, a very handsome, dark-skinned human, and he basically offered you all a place of safe respite during your time here in the Nine Hells, a safe place to rest and basically do some shopping and get some interesting comforts. And he also told the party that he also is keen on, well, not keen, but he has the ability to bring those back from the dead, gesturing to Mortis's body on the back of their tormentor, their infernal machine. After some long discussions on whether or not it was a good idea, Salen turned down the Infernal Contract with Mahadi and caught up with Sefrin and Kronder, who were shopping at the magic market in the Emporium, the Wandering Emporium. And this in turn eventually led to Sefrin meeting with Mahadi and agreeing to the Infernal Contract, the price being Sefrin's soul upon her death later on down the road. For those of you who want mechanics reasons, anytime they die after 17th level, that's when the soul gets whisked away. So after signing the contracts, Mahadi brought Mortis back to life. And with their directions in hand, the party headed to the spawning trees and saved a very friendly bearded devil from some not so nice bearded devils, and in the process saw a bunch of weird egg sacs hatching off these trees that in turn were spawning abyssal chickens, hence the name spawning trees. Saving the little demon, the party gathered information on their next location from the spawning trees to be Urm's Tower, across the river Styx to the west, where they would be able to speak with someone with more knowledge of the situation, the very well-known and famous wizard known as Mordenkainen. Curious to do this, this bearded devil pointed to them the directions they needed to go on the map, and realizing they needed a way across the river Styx, Kronder suggested they jump Harriman's Hill on their infernal machine, while the rest of the party sort of talked about maybe other ways. So,
yeah, I stand by that.
I looked it up online. You were not be the first person to suggest it. And you guys decided to go check out these kind of towers that are on the edge of the river Styx that look like lookout points. And they were mentioned to be Stygian watchtowers. And you all made your way south in the Infernal Machine towards one of these Stygian watchtowers. So, you guys are tearing off through the wasteland. Which one were you guys wanting to go to again? The
southern one going towards the volcano.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you guys start driving to
that right there. Where
Yeah.
there's,
Yep.
Where there's that.
Yes. Weird floating thing. Okay. So you guys start driving towards that one. Then it'll probably take no time at all. It'll probably take actually about an hour to get there.
Cool.
So, how's everybody feeling about the spawning trees?
Which is certainly an interesting experience.
I loved it.
You know, I was expecting to hate it. It's really hard for me to hate a cute little animal.
I'm gonna get me one of them chickens.
Yeah, I want that for you. I swear to God, those things probably grow up to be like real nasty.
You're not gonna have it for dinner, are you?
No.
That's fair enough.
Just as a little friend.
Okay. Certainly one way to do it, so long as it does not eat bats. You can pet your little milk dragon.
I mean, you could probably fry it up with some spices, herbs.
Now
11 herbs and spices.
11 herbs and spices sounds about right.
You leave my soon-to-be chicken alone.
I mean, if we get hungry.
If you get hungry, eat a good berry.
But those are good for you.
I mean, they are.
They are really quite good.
They are like very healthy. They are full of antioxidants.
Would you say they're very healthy? good one.
Good
You're
one,
just going to follow me
Cronder.
to my grave. All right.
And
Well,
as
now I'm not giving it to you, Kronder.
you guys
Oh.
are continuing your drive, it's about 10 minutes into the drive at this point. Yeah, or say about half an hour into the drive, rather. After about half an hour, again, just a totally boring, uneventful drive for your first half hour.
This is very boring and uneventful.
Yeah, I thought there'd be more events, but yeah.
Yeah,
Please don't say that.
Flaming pterodactyls coming down from the sky,
Please don't.
soul-sucking leeches.
I am not saying the words that no one should ever say. I'm not going that far. I'm just saying. I did think there'd be some pterodactyls.
As you're driving, and this discussion's happening, Kronder, you all can see out of nowhere the sand starts to swirl, and the heat from Avernus starts to swirl into the sand, and a fire tornado, 300 feet high and 30 feet wide at its base, starts to cross your path. I need the driver, which is Kronder, to make a dexterity saving throw using the vehicle's statistics.
Okay. See, guys, this is what I'm talking about.
I blame you.
I rolled for a fire tornado. That's so
Please
bad.
drive
I
very
didn't
fast
say
and
what
very
could
furiously.
possibly go wrong. I didn't
All
say
right. All right. Okay.
think it.
So saving, it's just +2. We got this, guys. We're sitting pretty at a 15.
Dang. The 15 is the DC. So you just skirt along the edge of this fire tornado. Otherwise, it would have enveloped the vehicle, and everyone would have needed to make dexterity saving throws and taken a lot of fire damage.
Don't
So
worry, guys. I'm really good at this.
So Kroner just skirts the edge of this fire tornado. You guys actually feel the heat just radiating off the side of this tornado, and it's actually we'll say you all get minor sunburns almost instantaneously as you drive past it. Just
I would imagine since Sefrin is fire resistant, it's like a nice breeze.
no, because the damage would have been 18d10.
That's more like a white hot
90-10.
star.
Yeah, it's more like that's uncomfortable.
Fair enough.
Yeah, 18d10. Whew. That's like a TPK. Just
That's the same amount as lava, isn't it?
lava is, I believe, 10. Actually, I think it might be the same as lava.
Yeah, there's
Basically
no
a
way
lava-
to survive that.
Basically, a lava tornado just. And as soon you guys drive past it and keep going, that's about 45 minutes into your drive as you kind of skirt around that to get around it, and you're all very visibly sunburnt now. The metal in the vehicle is actually kind of glowing a little bit on the outside. And you guys just keep going
Mortis
towards your
is very
destination.
uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, you guys just keep going
Very
towards your
unhappy about it.
destination. Okay, we'll say for the last 20 minutes of the drive, or the last 15, nothing happens. And as you guys approach your destination in the distance, you can see a tower that's about a squat 30 feet tall, and it's like an open top structure made of black basalt. Basalt?
I've never said that
Basalt,
word
bath salt, basalt, bath salts.
Mess with basalt.
No, it's so it's about 30 feet, high and about 30 feet wide, and it's like a rounded tower. And within 60 feet of the tower, like the exterior grounds all around it, is free from all sorts of cover, just an open field. Barbed.
Are we close to the river?
I'd say you guys are probably like a good couple hundred feet from the river. And so yeah, 60 feet of just open ground in front of this tower all around it, so there's no cover. And as you guys get closer, you can see barbed iron chains hang at 10-foot intervals down the exterior walls of this tower. And the top floor of the tower, the roof, you can see two spine devils roosting on there and looking at as lookouts and scouts, and they can kind of see your vehicle just bellowing, moving towards the tower. I'm gonna have one of them make a perception check. Okay, and they both kind of a kind of like column of infernal like hot sand dust obscures their vision, and as you guys start to get closer and closer. What are you guys doing, Cronder? As you guys are getting closer to this tower, you're about 200 feet out.
Jeff's gonna cock the harpoon gun.
What's the
Oh.
plan?
Mortis is gonna cock the harpoon gun. Just, I'm ready for this. What's the plan?
Are we fording it, or are we?
I don't know what that word means.
You know when? Okay. You also know stories of the pioneers.
We are
But-
quickly running out of times, youngin.
Float the car on the water.
I don't know if it does that. All right, we're coming up to the tower, guys.
You're about.
We need to find us a boat. That's what we need.
Can you check the movement speed of the infernal machine real quick, Cronder? Because I said you guys were about 300. I think you guys were about 300 feet, 200 feet away.
100 feet.
Okay, so yeah, that's 6 seconds. So boom, 100 feet, and then you're getting, and then in the next 6 seconds, if you keep going, you're gonna go right up to that tower.
Everyone have a look around. See if you can find a boat.
Everyone, give me okay. If you guys looking for a boat, I need everybody to make perception checks with disadvantage because you're going real fast.
Enough.
Both
Perception.
bad.
Straight roll for me. And a 1. And a natural 1.
You're looking around, Sefrin, and a piece of like flying dirt gets into your eyes and just you can't see.
It's a
So
5.
this is perception.
What did Cronder get?
5.
5. You're definitely like too distracted on like the devils that are clearly perched on top of that tower, serving as lookouts, just looking around. Mortis
got 17.
17. You don't see any boats near the river. The river is sold decent. The river is sold decent way away from this tower. No, but yeah, you don't see any boats.
Right.
And Salem, what'd you get?
Oh, I got a 13, so yeah.
Yeah, you don't see any boats either.
Do we want to try to just take the tower and use it as a little base while we look for a way across?
Oh, that's a great idea.
And
I think we'll be able to clear it out.
as soon as the vehicle gets closer, the two devils on top finally see you, and one of them pulls out a horn and goes, "Bah!" Make an attack roll to see if you can kill it before the horn gets fired.
Ooh.
Oh no. I'm gonna be at a disadvantage, aren't I here?
Yeah, because it's moving pretty quick. No.
Speed.
It should be fine.
Well, because you're just using a harpoon throw, right?
The harpoon.
That is 16 to hit.
Okay, 16 hits as the devil starts to, like the spine devil starts to pull up a horn and blow in it.
Is the
9 plus 2, that's 11 piercing damage.
Okay. The spear hits it like in the stomach and it drops to the ground, but it kind of stands back up with the horn getting ready to blow. Everybody roll initiative then.
okay.
And at this point, the vehicle is still rocketing towards the tower.
You got a 6.
So like a straight line towards the tower, essentially. Okay, so this is gonna be funny. Okay, so two spine devils. The first one got a. Okay, Mortis, what'd you get for initiative?
4.
4. Okay. Salen.
I got an 11.
Okay, nice. What's your dex modifier?
Oh, it is +3.
+3.
Yeah.
Okay, Sefrin.
17.
Nice. And then Cronder.
6.
6.
I'm an old man. I don't know what you want from me.
Okay. So,
Us old men can go at this together.
Sefrin, you are first up as you can see the Tormentor rocketing straight to the right to the tower. It'll probably hit the tower on Kroner's turn if Kroner doesn't succeed on a save.
Okay.
Just through the tower. Yeah, and you can see two Spine Devils on top of this tower. They're 30 feet off the ground, and you guys are still about a good, we'll say, 60 feet away.
Oh, okay. Thankfully, Chill Touch has a range of 120 feet, so I can do that.
Or wait, no, you guys would be 100 feet away because of stuff. So you're about 100 feet away, and the Spine Devils are 30 feet off the ground.
Okay. Probably still within Chill Touch range.
I say yes.
Okay. So Sefrin is going to take out what looks to be like a little wineskin at first. She squeezes it into one of her hands, and what comes out is this just nasty tar-like substance. It kind of covers her hand. She kind of takes aim with it, and she takes aim at the Spine Devil that has already been hurt.
Okay.
And she will fire off a Chill Touch.
Alrighty, go for it.
Okay, so that is attack roll. 8 for me. It is a 16 to hit.
16 definitely hits.
Okay. Is 2d8 necrotic. Well, 2d8 plus 5 necrotic damage. This is a fun little.
Okay. 2d8 plus 5 necrotic.
Plus 5. That is 19 points of necrotic damage.
19 points of necrotic damage. Yeah, it's about to blow in the bugle horn, and then the chill touch just smears it into infernal paste on the roof of that building. Dead.
What do you think? It's a new spell.
Mine looks cooler.
I mean, yeah, I think that is beyond debate, but I don't have to rely on acid anymore.
That's nice.
Anything else?
Let me check the range on Force Strike really quick. I'm sorry. Force Strike, 30 feet. No. Yeah, that's her turn.
Okay, that'll bring it to Salen. You guys are you're 100 feet off from that tower.
Sweet, which I wanted to use Watery Sphere, but we are not close enough. So instead, what Salem is gonna do is just like, yeah, just sort of like jump, like just step out of the dune buggy,
Okay.
and it's gonna call lightning
On top of the tower.
on the top of the tower, and then is just going to bonus action wild shape into just like a gigantic Snow White barn owl.
Okay. So yeah, call lightning. Is that a save, or does that happen? I can't remember how that works.
It is a save. So yeah, it is a storm cloud appears in the shape of thunder that is a 10 foot tall. Blah blah blah. Choose a point that you can see under the cloud. A bolt of lightning flashes down from the cloud to that point. Each creature within 5 feet of that point must make a dexterity. Yeah, I don't know how close they are together.
Oh, there's just one left.
Oh, there's just one left. Okay, cool.
Dexterity saving throw. That is a 21.
Ooh, yeah, that saves, but it's still half damage.
Okay. A lightning bolt hits the top of this tower.
11, 13, 6 points of lightning damage.
Okay. And it just like gets hit by the lightning, and then it kind of just squirms in place, and then kind of stands strong again. All righty. Anything else?
I'm pretty fast as an owl.
Okay.
Yeah, well, 60 feet of movement. So yeah, I'll get 60 feet kind of closer to the tower.
Okay, cool. So you're about 40 feet away from it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll bring it to Kronder's turn. The vehicle is rocketing right towards that tower. I will. Let me think here. Yeah, okay. Give me a dexterity saving throw with the vehicle statistics. See if you can avoid the tower and not crash into it.
Okay.
Because you just rocketed 100 feet towards it. Just
Natural 20.
natural 20.
Ooh,
You kind of just like slam on the brakes and
freaking baby driver over
and
here.
Oh, no.
the infernal machine parks just neatly against the base of the tower.
Yeah.
Anything else? You want to do anything then? Give your action and everything.
So, does that like affect my movement if I get out of the like? Can I still move?
You can
or-
still move. You can still move. It's the vehicle's movement is separate from yours.
Okay. Is there a door?
There is a door. You can see it
Ooh.
nearby.
And did the guy up top look like he also had a horn, or just the one who died?
They're on the rooftops. You couldn't tell. You can't tell at this
Okay.
point. But the door you can see is a stone slab.
I'm probably not going to be strong enough to open that. I'm gonna hop out,
Mhm.
walk, like take a couple little like steps back so I can get the guy who's up top in my like my sight.
Sure.
And then I'm just gonna like plant my staff, and like a little like portal kind of like opens up above it.
Mhm.
And I like put my hand through it, and as my hand goes through it, it turns into a skeleton, and then like detaches and goes up. And I will also cast Chill Touch.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, not great. 11.
It kind of just flies out of the way real quick.
All right.
Anything else?
Mortis, get this door open.
Mortis is gonna
It's not your turn yet, but
Oh.
and just one hand on each side of the slab and
it's
just
it's not Mortis' turn yet.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you know what you're gonna do.
Anything else, Kronder?
No, that's it for Krondo.
Okay, cool. The second Spine Devil, it's gonna use a bonus action to go and blow on its little bugle horn, which is very audible. And then it's going to fly off the tower and fly towards Kronder. And that's 40 feet of movement, so it can do that. And it's going to multi-attack Kronder. It's going to try to stab him with its fork for a 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
Just stabs Kronder in like the shoulder with his little tiny fork. And that'll be math. I rolled the wrong dice. That helps. You take 2 piercing damage as it stabs into you. And then it's going to bite you on the neck, because these things are just little small fiends, so it's going to bite you on the neck. And that is a 19 to hit. As it bites Kronder on the neck.
Hit, yeah.
2 slashing damage. Just, and then that'll bring it to Mortis.
Alright, so going back, Mortis is gonna hop his way out of the Tormentor.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to fit on both hands, grab the slab, and start pushing it aside.
Okay. I need an athletics check. It feels real heavy as you go to move it.
That is 23.
23 is the DC.
Whoa.
And you just you grind the door to the side, and as you push the door to the side, the level of the tower is drab and unadorned, save for a plain rectangular stone table set with a pair of stone benches. Spare pole arms and scale armor, suitable for 5 large and 10 medium devils, are stored in racks along the walls. And kind of sat around the table eating are 10 bearded devils and 10 of their hellhounds on chains. And they all just look up at you, and then they hear the alarm go off, and they all grab their weapons. 10 bearded devils and 10 hellhounds.
Oh, we're screwed.
We just brought you back, Mortis.
Anything else, Mortis? Now to pull up the D&D Beyond encounter tracker.
Well, that would count as an action, would it?
Count as an action, correct.
Let's see. Can I do any bonus? Is there any bonus actions I can do that? For the duration up. Oh, okay. What level is it? It's the first level? I'm going to use my bonus action to cast shield. I'm going to crumple up some sort of blackened parchment in my hand, and I am going to cast Shield of Faith.
Okay.
That gives me a +2 to all AC. And that is my turn.
Okay. Now let me roll for all these guys. Their initiative.
That would have been really nice if I was able to swap out my prepared spells for the day before we did this.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay, 1 second. Okay, just reporting everything over into this new encounter tracker. Oh shit! I forgot that's Kroner. Kroner, what's your initiative?
6.
That's right. I forgot to write it down. Okay, so at the start of all this, now one of the bearded devils that can see Mortis is just gonna walk up to him, and let me see here. Yeah, walk up to him and say, "In Infernal," telepathically in Mortis's head, "We outnumber you. Stand down, or we will kill you and your friends." And that's his action. And we'll say, I'll let Mortis reply. Let's see how this goes.
Mortis is just gonna stare at him for a minute, and he's just gonna be like, I mean, if you want to make this easy on everyone, you can just get lost and we'll take over.
Alrighty, it's going to attack you. It's going to make 2 attacks. One with its glaive. That is an 18 to hit.
Nope.
So it's going to attack with its beard instead. That is an 8, so that does not hit. Seeing that you did not choose to stand down, the second bearded devil beside it is also going to lunge towards you and swing with the glaive. For a 21 to hit.
That is my AC.
So lunges forward and stabs the
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, that's right. Shield of Faith.
No, yes, that is
Yeah?
my AC.
Oh.
So yeah, it's going to
that's
lunge
my AC.
forward and stab the glaive into your chest, and you take 11 slashing damage, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yikes.
5, that fails. You get an infernal wound that opens up on your chest where you were stabbed. And then it's just going to ensnare you with the beard. And that'll be a natural 20 for the beard. So the beard just rockets forward and grabs you around the head. You take 19 piercing damage, and Constitution saving throw from that.
Yeah, 6.
6. You're poisoned for 1 minute, unless you're immune to poison.
Wait a minute. I have advantage against poison.
Cool, then roll again.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. That's a 7.
Alright, cool. So you're poisoned for 1 minute. You can repeat that at the end of your turns. So yeah, that happens. You guys can all see these Mortis sitting at the door, and these 2 bearded devils just lunge towards him and stab at him. The second one, as it stabs into Mortis and it kind of wraps him up with his beard, it kind of turns to everybody else and speaks in everyone's minds in the range of the telepathy and says, "Stand down, or we'll kill your friend. We are arresting him, and you cannot handle the forces in this tower." And that'll bring it to Sefrin.
Okay. She just looks at. Can she see like all the devils in the tower?
Oh yeah. There's 10 devils on this floor of the tower, 10 bearded devils, and their hellhounds are on leashes.
Okay.
And they each have 1 hellhound each, so that's 10 hellhounds as well.
Okay, so she is going to send Spatz over.
Okay.
To Mortis. And she will channel channel magic. She will essentially use Spatz to cast invisibility on Mortis.
Okay.
And she will, as she's doing that, she'll just go, "Mortis, now would be a very good time to run."
Okay.
So, Mortis, you are now invisible.
Okay. Anything else, Sefrin?
That is it.
Okay, that'll bring it to one of the hellhounds, who is going to just jump into the doorway, kind of get past Mortis and see you say, because everyone saw you do something, and then Mortis went invisible. And the hellhound is just going to look at you, and it's going to make a bite attack against you, Sefrin.
Okay.
Just like come out of the doorway and like lunge towards you in the sand, and then lunge and go for a bite attack. We'll get pack tactics because the other 2, both the bearded devils. That is a 22 to hit, as the thing just lunges towards you and sinks its teeth into your waist.
That would still be my AC. Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so it lunges and it bites you, and you take 9 piercing damage.
Okay.
And 5 fire damage, and if you're resistant, that's 2.
Okay, she will use her reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And expend one of her shield charges to repel that hellhound.
Okay.
So he gets pushed 15 feet away.
Okay, just knocks 15 feet back through the doorway. That'll bring it. Yeah, that's its turn. I'll bring it to the next hellhound. It saw where Mortis went invisible, and it's just gonna go for broke and exhale its fire breath in that radius. Just so Mortis, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, as fire breath just scorches into that door frame, and the devils are immune to it, so they just soak up that fire and they enjoy it.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, so the fire hits you and it burns you, but you take half damage.
No, I use my reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Shield mastery?
Where did you go? Yes, my shield mastery reaction.
Okay. What does that do?
Reaction.
When an effect is half damage on success, I can use the shield master to take no damage.
Okay, so the fire, and you bring up the shield, and the fire just wraps around the shield, and you're good. However, the hellhounds all rolled really high, so another one of the hellhounds sees what it's. Oh, I'm gonna reroll, see if that recharges. It does not. One of the other hellhounds is going to look in the doorframe and also just go to do a fire breath. So Mortis, I need a dexterity saving throw again. As fire just
Fucking
swirls through the
Damn it, these
doorframe.
fucking hounds.
Oh, son of a... That is a 2.
That is a fail, unfortunately. So you take 19 points of fire damage. Just
We're not in trouble, not at all.
and then see if that recharges, which it does not. That'll bring us to one of the other hellhounds. And it's going to scamper out the doorway and look at everybody. Kronder is kind of the Sefrin and Kronder are the closest. It's going to go for Kronder.
Call
And-
your fucking dogs off.
And lunge at Kronder and make a bite attack. Oh, fuck. It lunges onto Kronder and like sinks its large jaws into Kronder's neck and shakes him around like a rag doll. That's a natural 20. Okay. That's... Oh, okay. So the crit for piercing, you take 15 points of piercing damage as it bites into your neck and shakes you around like a rag doll. And then the fire damage is also crit, so... you take 19 points of fire damage. Just bites in your neck and shakes you around like a rag doll and then lets you go.
For fuck's sakes.
Oh, shit. Alright.
That'll bring us...
How many times have I been hit by an attack?
1, 2, 3, and then the fire breath. So 4.
Alright, because I forgot to roll concentration for my Shield of Faith.
Alright,
Oh,
4 checks right now. Or wait, Shield of Faith, since you've put it up, 3 checks.
First one's 10.
10 would have been the DC for the glaive.
Yeah.
Then the beard. So the beard would be next.
15.
So success. And then the fire breath that you just took the full damage of.
Was a 4.
So yeah, Shield of Faith goes down after the fire breath toasts you.
That also reminds me, needed a concentration check on invisibility, which I just rolled for an 18.
So invisibility is still up. Okay, that'll bring us to... Did this hellhound go? No, it didn't. This hellhound is also going to run out the door. Mortis, you can be making attack of opportunities on these hellhounds if you want.
Sure.
You're invisible.
Oh, you're
Actually,
invisible.
No,
okay.
No, he is
Okay.
invisible.
Okay.
No.
This one's going to also lunge at the door, and this one's going to go for Sefrin. And it's leap at Sefrin and go for a bite attack on Sefrin. Pack tactics because there's one near Kronder. Ooh, I rolled 2 14s. It's a 19 to hit.
That hits.
So it lunges into you and like sinks its teeth into your waist, and you take 10 piercing damage
Okay.
and 4 fire damage. Just so reduced to half, you take 2 fire damage.
Okay.
Jesus, these hellhounds rolled real high. That'll bring us to another hellhound
Oh my god.
who's just gonna lunge towards the door and try to see where Mortis went and try to bite the invisible Mortis. So it's a do with disadvantage. Oh no, that's just a straight roll because of pack tactics. 13 or 14 to hit, which does not hit Mortis.
Nope.
The final hellhound is also going to try to bite the invisible Mortis with pack tactics. That's a 9 to hit, so it's a miss. 2 more of these bearded devils in here. One is going to walk over where the invisible Mortis was, and just try to stab with the glaive where Mortis went, and also speak telepathically to everybody, saying, "Just let us arrest him." And that'll be Oh, that's a 7 to hit the invisible Mortis, so it's gonna scream and go for the beard. And that would be a 18 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. That'll bring us to the second bearded devil. This one is going to come outside through the doorway, and it's going to... it is going to rush towards... where's Salen again?
Oh, I'm like,
In the air.
40 feet
Yeah, I'm in the
back
air.
in the air.
Yeah, okay, this one is just going to rush
I'm
over...
an owl.
This one's going to rush over to... Kronder.
Fuck!
And make a glaive attack against Kronder.
Stop! I'm not.
He's Crowder.
I'm not resisting.
Huh.
In the car.
That'll be a 17 to hit.
Shield.
Okay, so off your shield. And then its beard is just gonna go. That's also a 17 to hit, but I believe shield stays up for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, shield will last until the start of my next.
So that does not hit either. That'll bring it to Salen 40 feet back as a barn owl.
Sweet. Well, a giant owl.
Mm-hmm.
But,
The spine devil is still on the roof,
Hmm.
and you can see a bunch of devils and hellhounds pouring out of the tower now. As soon as Mortis opened the doors, Mortis just went invisible,
So I am just going to.
and you can hear them telepathically saying, "Stand down, let us arrest your friend." Basically,
Well,
giving you guys an out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So.
I'm gonna die. I just got Kronder.
I mean, we need to like retreat.
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah. So I'll just do another like. Hang on, let me just see. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I'm just going to fly and make a talon attack
Okay.
at. I don't know. You're all in a bad way.
Probably.
In the worst way.
Yeah. Protect the wizard.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a talons attack at one of the bearded devils. That's
Okay. There's only one in front of Kronder.
messing with Kronder.
Yeah, there's only one of them. So.
Okay, cool.
Protect Squishy.
That's only a 13.
13 just hits as you come flying down as this giant barn owl or whatever you said, and sinks its talons into this bearded devil's face. Just.
Yeah, it's gonna be 7 points of magical slashing damage.
Excellent.
And I guess I already used my action,
Yes.
so I wouldn't be able to grab Kronder.
No.
Okay, I'm going to yeah, I'm just gonna go like 20 feet in the air
Mm-hmm.
because of my flyby owl power. I don't provoke opportunity attacks.
Correct. Alrighty. Anything else?
No, that's about all I can do.
Alrighty. That bring it. Oh. Anything else? Is that it?
Yeah, just
Okay.
probably making really angry owl noises.
Okay. One of the bearded devils inside the tower, because it's still got does anyone understand Infernal?
Yes.
Yeah, me.
All right. Anyone that can understand Infernal, that's within like 30 feet, which would be Kronder, and anyone else who can understand Infernal within that feet in that area. Here's the bearded devil yell, "Commander, we've got attackers!" And then it's going to post up in the room, as will the others that can't exactly get out to join the combat. So that'll go from initiative order 9 down to initiative order 6 with Kronder.
Great.
There's a bearded devil right in front of you. There's a hellhound right in front of you.
In Infernal, I'm just gonna yell out, "Enough! Enough! This is absolutely preposterous. And then I will cast Misty Step as a bonus action
Nice.
to take me to
Nice.
the first one who is like stand down and like, you know, like near the
Okay.
door. Who
Yeah,
are,
that's the
like-
one that's like right in front of Mortis. There's two right
Yeah.
in front of Mortis.
So I'll Misty Step over there.
Okay.
And then I am going to be like, let me speak to your commander.
Persuasion check.
And then I'm also gonna flash the symbol of my patron.
Okay. Persuasion. No, I don't even make a persuasion check. You flash the symbol of your patron. I'll say that's your action. And they immediately look like they're standing down and they point to each other like, okay, stop, 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 stop. And that is the end of combat. The devils all stand down. You see them all put their glaives down to the side. All the hellhounds kind of sit.
Mortis is just dripping blood. Just...
Oh, that reminds me. Mortis, because of your infernal wound, you take 10 points of just infernal wound damage. If you want to stop that, you can give me a medicine check.
Alright.
Or magical healing will also stop it.
I can do magical healing.
Okay.
I do have cure wounds.
You can. They're like the guy said. The devils are standing down, so you guys can do whatever you desire at this point.
He is going to cast a level 1 cure wounds on himself.
Okay, that means then Mortis appears.
Zephyr just kind of looks around and goes,
This is
"Did
just 4
I
points.
miss something?
Okay, and that infernal wound closes.
What just happened? They were calling for blood a second ago."
He's going to give himself 20 more points on the sly.
Okay.
Don't worry about it, child.
And then
God, that really hurt.
most of the bearded devils and hellhounds kind of start patrolling the outside of the tower to make sure no one else is coming. And then the two bearded devils that are like attacking Mortis, they have their hellhounds still. They're just like in Infernal to Cronder. They say, "Tell your friends to come inside," and they turn around and go into the building.
Very well, very well. All right, in the tower we go.
What did you do, old man?
Oh, you'll see soon enough.
You know I hate that worse than anything else.
I actually didn't know that. I just met you. And then I'll saunter in my little old man shuffly kind of way.
Okay. Anyone else following Cronder in?
Mortis will follow him, putting his weapons away.
Lulu is staying in the vehicle.
That's a
Smart.
good plan. Sefrin will follow, and as
Okay.
she's kind of going in, she'll kind of amicably, but perhaps like kind of trying to make a point as she kind of swats the wizard on the back, casts Cure Wounds. She just kind of whispers, "I hope you know what you are doing." So that so Cronder gets for Cure Wounds the thing that is 1d8 plus 5. You get 12 points of healing.
Yes! I was at 6 hit points.
Oof.
I was so afraid.
Oh,
That's
no.
I was at 10. That is so valid.
And as you guys are being like led inside,
Come in.
okay, so Salen, are you staying as an owl?
I will stop the lightning, but yeah, I think I'm gonna stay an owl and maybe like pretend like I'm just like Cronder's
owl.
like very large familiar or something.
Okay. So you
Love
guys,
that.
you guys get led into the tower. They lead you to a ladder in the northwest corner that's large enough to accommodate everyone. One of the chain devils, or one of the bearded devils, goes up first, and the other one kind of stands back to make sure you all follow without doing any funny business.
We follow without doing any funny business.
Yep.
So as you guys get to the
right on the shoulder.
As you guys get to the second floor, the floor of this room is strewn with hooked chains and manacles are bolted to the walls. In the middle of the room A spiked iron chair is bolted to the floor. The chair's armrests and legs are fitted with iron shackles, so the chair is just covered in spikes, even on the seat. One corner of the room has gaping holes in the floor and ceiling, through which passes a large iron ladder leading to the tower's ground floor and rooftop. And that's, you kind of see like the spine devil that was still up there kind of fly down. And standing kind of near the chair, you see this one fiend, this devil. It looks like it's egg-shaped, kind of similar to the one you guys saw in the market with the tiny wings and the like unending grin, essentially. And there's one sitting there. It's kind of just looks like it's getting done with a torture session to whoever was sitting on this chair last. It's kind of just like picking up pieces that are left. And standing beside that, there's another fiend with just orange skin, just coated in chains. And they're both standing by this chair, and they kind of just look towards you all, and the egg-shaped devil speaks in common and just says, "Now why are you attacking my tower?"
Listen, that was a bit of a miscommunication on our part. We were just driving a little too fast. We're not here to fight or attack your tower or nothing like that. We're just on our way to cross the river.
But this one, from what I'm told, attacked my spine devils on the roof, and he points a finger towards Mortis.
Your spine devils were getting ready to attack us.
But what is your purpose here?
We're crossing the river. Any help would be appreciated.
You're looking to cross the river.
Yes.
Have you tried swimming across?
Don't play stupid fucking games with me.
The owl just kind of goes like,
Yeah, we are very familiar with the effects of this particular body of water.
I have a little... Fine. It's just gonna smile even wider. And it's just gonna say... Well, you could always use a boat.
And where can I find a boat?
I may have one somewhere that people have used time to time to catch the fish that live in the river. It's big enough for just the four of you. It's made of metal, but it floats. Unfortunately, you'll have to leave your vehicle behind.
That is pretty unfortunate. Now, could we trust you to leave it here for us?
Your vehicle?
Yeah.
I have no need of one.
Well, I didn't ask you if you fucking wanted it.
He kind of looks at the chain devil and says something under his breath. So... Why should I? Why shouldn't I just push it into the river?
Because I'm already pretty fucking angry.
I'm not...
I just got my throat ripped out by a fucking hellhound.
I'm not
And
frightened
my
by...
mistress is not going to be pleased.
Oh, your mistress, and who is that?
I'm just going to, like, take out my little symbol again and, like, slam it on the table. You know, the Queen of Chaos.
And the fiend looks down, his wide smile immediately just kind of falters, and he goes, "We will keep your transport safe."
Mortis's mouth goes very thin.
I know who that is.
The Queen of Chaos.
Yeah.
Give me history or religion check.
I might get in on that action.
That's not great. That is, yeah, that's just a 10.
A 10? Probably not. Probably not. You've probably never heard of such and such being referred to as that.
I got a 16.
16, okay. Did Mortis do a check or no?
Mortis got a 13.
13. Same thing for you. Never really heard of anyone kind of called the Queen of Chaos. Sefrin, however, I'd say the name kind of rings a bell, but you can't 100% place it.
Fair enough.
And yeah, the devil just kind of stands up and goes, "We will keep your vehicle safe. Please take the boat. It's docked on the other side of the tower near the river.
Will do.
It's hidden underneath the bodies."
Great. Now, before we head out, you got anywhere in here we can take a rest?
Gestures towards the spiked chair. That's about it.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure doing business with you.
Nods its head.
I'm gonna pick up my symbol, and I'm gonna. All right, troops, we're moving out.
As long as we're not fighting or dying.
Kronder just made a CR18 fiend, not, a little scared. CR18. And it goes back to picking up the pieces of the body parts on the floor.
Yeah.
And the chain
As
devil.
I'm, like, getting ready to step down, I'll be like, "Oh, before I go, what are your
Yes.
names?"
Don't worry about it.
All right, I was just gonna pass them along to Our Lady, so that she could hear of your good deed on this day.
We'd appreciate it if you didn't tell her our names.
Very well.
And they just go back to picking up the body parts, and the chain devil just kind of tilts its head at you guys. The chain's kind of falling off its skin, and it just smiles. What are you guys doing?
Mortis will smile back with half his face burned away and this grizzly, almost death grin.
Okay.
Hoot.
Mortis, do you need any more healing, or are you good?
I mean, if you can afford it, I wouldn't mind it.
I got some healing, and she'll kind of slap a medicated patch on the back of Mortis's neck, and she'll cast another Cure Wounds.
Okay. And you guys heading out on the ladders out of the.
It's 8 points of healing.
Okay. And
Thank you.
yeah, you guys heal at Mortis and then turn away from the fiends in the tower. What's up?
Well, I'm still in a lot of fucking pain.
Yeah. I can help y'all out once I'm out of this wild shape, but I want to be a giant owl to help move all the bodies off the boat.
I'm sure it's very comfortable.
Yeah, let's go get our boat.
I don't say, but
Yeah, makes sense. I'm really smart. I picked that up.
Yeah.
Lulu kind of sees you guys come out of the tower perfectly fine. And she's like, "Oh, that's so good. Oh, I'm so happy that you're all alive."
Oh, hold on to that enthusiasm.
And she's already done heal. So she's gonna do. She's gonna do Cure Wounds on. Who looks the worst now?
I'm sitting pretty at 18 out of 44 hit points.
Okay. What's Mortis sitting at?
I'm at 42 out of 59. I'm good
Oh, okay.
for now.
What's Sefrin at?
28 out of 51.
Okay, she's gonna do Cure Wounds on Sefrin.
Okay.
Because Sailor didn't get hit once during that, so she's gonna just come over and touch you with her trunk and cast Cure Wounds, and you heal by 12 points of healing. Just.
Oh, that's much better.
And she's kind of float around. Okay, what are we doing?
Boat.
Okay. And she lands on she's small, so she's probably about the same size as actually Kronder. So she's just gonna like fly beside Kronder, just as you guys make your way to the back of this tower towards the boat.
Did you see how that fucking dog got me right in the neck?
I did. That was really bad.
God damn.
Those dogs were fucking assholes.
That shit hurted.
Look at me, I'm crispy now. It's gonna take me forever to get this soot out of my armor.
Yeah, your beard smells kind of singed.
It feels kind of singed. Alright, let's find this stupid boat and get across.
Yeah.
Okay, so just as an aside, apparently I've been calculating cure wounds a little wrong. Early, I actually didn't know that my spellcasting bonus and the bonus for alchemical savant stacked. So whenever I restore hit points with cure wounds, it's actually plus 10.
So I mean, I get another 5 points of health.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you and Mortis, I believe.
Nice.
But yeah, you guys can easily find the pile of bodies that the devil mentioned behind this tower.
Great. I'm not gonna do any of this heavy lifting though, and I'm just gonna like pat, probably not actually like touch her, but like do like the grandfatherly pat that Kronder's kind of adopted towards Salen.
Oh, I've been flying like
For
around.
general direction.
I'm not walking. I'm not doing the little bird hop next to y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck that. No.
Just like
Mortis is
just like
gonna...
into the air, you know, just like
Yeah, I'm just gonna start like swooping down and like picking up bodies and moving them.
Okay.
Mortis is just gonna head over and just go and pick up the boat.
Okay, you can easily just eventually. It takes about 20 minutes to get all the bodies off.
Cool.
Because there's a lot. And yeah, you guys see this like rust-colored metal boat. It's kind of like jagged kind of pieces of metal, like haphazardly just welded together.
Does it look aight?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone still need any healing?
Salen, I think you should maybe stay as a bird, so we can give you a piece of rope and you can help kind of guide the boat across.
I was thinking.
Right, now, I have an issue here.
What's the issue?
I don't like boats.
Well, just kind of like flex a little like grabby talon at Mortis.
Don't you give me that shit.
And like flutter and like kind of like pick him up and start trying to carry him.
Fine, I'll take the boat, I'll take the boat.
So, do you get seasick?
Preen.
Do you get seasick, or do you just not like being on water?
Dwarves and water don't always mix very well. We tend to sink
Very heavy
very
bones.
easily.
Quite
Okay.
dense. I read about that.
They're made for, tunnels and overland work, not water.
There are bodies of water in the Underdark. Are there no dwarven sea captains down in those underground lakes?
No.
I wouldn't know, probably not.
Fair. Well, perhaps cover your ears, close your eyes, and think of bearded women.
That is racist. And Mortis is just gonna walk his way into the boat.
Okay.
I thought dwarven women have beards.
Don't worry about it, kid. And I'm gonna get into the boat also.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
will
Anyone
Sefrin.
got a rope?
Sefrin, I think, does. Hold on. Yep, Hampton rope, 50 feet. So Sefrin will hand you a nice 50-foot rope.
Cool. Yeah, maybe like kind of tie it in like two places so I can kind of grab it in the middle.
Yeah.
Those of us with opposable
With my
thumbs
like
will take care
long
of that.
owl legs. I think like I feel pretty confident with my talons and beak. I could get it. Cyril tries like really hard before she's shooed away.
Yeah.
And is like kind of squawking.
Like, we got this.
Okay.
Just such long legs as an owl.
Yeah,
Mortis is going to sit.
So long.
Mortis is
Yeah.
going to sit exactly in the center of the boat. He's going to be clutching his shield with one hand and his hammer with the other, and his eyes are going to be very tightly closed.
Okay.
There you go.
Wonder's gonna
Tell me
take
when
like
all
the
this
very
shit's
front.
over and we're back on land.
I'm so excited.
All right. So you guys start pulling the boat into the river.
Yeah.
Which
Can I make
direction?
a
Which direction are you?
perception check for any
Yeah.
of these fish
Go
the
for it.
devil was talking about? Because I don't believe that.
Go
I don't
for
think fish live in here.
Go for it.
That's a natural one.
No, you don't see any.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you pull the boat into the river Styx. It's about a it's not a super massive boat. It's like I said, it's big enough for like four medium creatures to kind of sit in comfortably. So yeah, you're pulling the boat into the water. Any direction you're looking at going? North, east, southwest.
Let me see the map. I mean, I imagine probably just like well,
Like north to the Stygian dock, then it's just a straight.
yeah. I mean, I guess we have a boat and it seems to be holding up, so probably kind of stay close to the like opposite shore. And
Okay.
then just start going north along the river.
All right. So looks like it'll probably take you guys a good, probably half hour to cross to the other side. And then if you're looking to go along the shore all the way up there, because you're now pulling a boat with a bunch of heavy people in it. Well, two heavy people, one heavy person. It'll probably take you a good amount of time to pull the boat all the way that way. I'll say like hours.
I can be an owl for about 4 hours.
Okay,
Are
so
there any like oars? Like, can we?
there are no oars. But
Indignant hoot.
yeah, so you're starting to go across to the other side of the river. Yeah, the river
No one can use
is.
shape water, eh?
Nah.
Shame. That would have been useful.
The river is red like blood.
Anybody got shaped blood?
And slowly going across the river to get to the other side. And Lulu's is like, don't touch the water. It's bad stuff.
Mortis is going, as they are crossing the river,
Mm-hmm.
Mortis is going to use his divine sense.
Okay.
It tells him the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
You detect hundreds of fiends beneath the surface of the water. Like they might be the little fish that guy spoke about.
No, please, just keep going. There's a lot of shit underneath us.
Oh, that's so cool. I want one.
For the sake of funsies, Sefrin will cast Mage Hand, and will kind of dip two phantom fingers into the water and kind of do one of these. See if anything comes up.
Nothing comes up.
Over the numerous hours we spend in this boat, I would like to take an hour and 10 minutes to ritually cast Find Familiar and
Okay.
get an Abyssal Chicken.
So for the first hour, then, we'll say the boat does get to the other side. Then you guys start going up the river. We'll say after about an hour, you get this far. Not far at all. Because
Sorry.
like
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, because you guys like half an hour to get across and half a half hour to go up. So that's about an hour there.
Yep.
So Corona, the entire time you're crossing the water, you're just like moving your hands around, and then you guys hear, and a little abyssal chicken appears in Kronder's lap.
I turn my head 180 degrees and look at that chicken.
Yeah, there's a little tiny abyssal chicken.
Chicken. Where's the fucking chicken?
Kronda pointed out us in air.
I told you I was gonna get one.
Kronder, what did you fucking do?
I just created this one.
Did you make? I can't. I'm keeping my eyes closed. Did you make a chicken?
I did.
You don't let it eat us.
It won't.
And yeah, you guys just keep sailing along the river Styx.
Sweet.
Kronder now has an abyssal chicken familiar.
Nice. Yeah, I think. So I guess we're coming up to these two other watchtowers. Oh no, that's not a watchtower. That's just a thingy.
But there is a watchtower right here.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're staying on this side.
Yeah, it looks. There's no. You don't see any devils on top patrolling you. There's no patrol actually around the base of it. It looks like this one's been abandoned.
Picked a good tower, y'all.
Hey, Kronder, you think if you toss the chicken into the river, it'll forget that it's your familiar?
You leave my fucking chicken alone, man.
I'm gonna loudly squawk back at them.
Okay.
I don't know what noises owls make.
Owls can squawk.
Well, I mean, if it's a barn owl, it's going to be like screeching like a velociraptor.
Is there a way to like add my abyssal chicken to
Yes.
my D&D page?
Oh, should be able to. I've turned off the no. This campaign at least. Give me 1 second, and I will turn it on. Just turn off campaign sharing now because I'm looked up stuff when you're playing Curse Strut.
Ooh, that's frustrating.
Okay. Boom. Okay, you should be able to add it to your character sheet now.
Okay, but like where?
Oh, go all the way over to extras,
Okay.
and then look for it'll let you give the option to basically add like a familiar when you go to add extra,
Okay.
and then you can just do familiar and toss in, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys keep going down the river, and in the distance, maybe about 100 feet away, it looks like there's another boat coming in this direction, standing on it. Like a rogue individual, and they have like a huge oar. They're just kind of pushing the boat along, and they're standing.
Cool.
Also, sorry, did you say that the tower we're passing looks abandoned?
Correct.
Hey, do you think maybe we should go take over that tower?
Oh.
Do you really want to get in another fight?
It looks abandoned.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what the occupants want us to think.
I could pull the boat to the shore, dock it. And
It'll take about
start
it'll take about a half hour to get to the other side of the river again.
Well, let's just keep going then.
But yeah, as you guys are like going, you can see another boat coming at you guys, but it's coming quicker almost, and there's like a little surge of water behind it. And as it gets closer, you can see like this individual in like robes, like a hooded robe, tattered, like they're tattered as well. And you can kind of see it's a pair of like yellow eyes underneath the robes, and or under the hood, and they're holding an oar, and the oar's kind of got like a fire burning on the top of it, like a light source, and it's just through the water, and it passes you all, and then just looks at you all and smiles.
How are you going so fast?
And it doesn't respond.
Damn it.
And
I
it just
love those guys.
and it just sort of just passes and just smiles at you all as it passes.
That's unnerving.
And you guys, after we'll say hour number 2, you guys would probably get to right about here. And still going along the edge of the river.
I'm gonna start looking, like keeping my eyes peeled for like any little hidey holes we can maybe camp in?
Okay, perception check.
Yeah.
I also have Liamon's tiny hut.
Oh yeah. Cool. And I have advantage on that because of my keen senses,
Mm-hmm.
keen hearing and sight, technically. 10 and 11.
Nothing.
So great. Yeah. I mean, technically a 16. But...
Oh, we lost your video.
Oh, weird.
There we go. Rearrange the windows. But yeah, you don't see anything that stands out.
Cool. Yeah, we might just need to go ashore and put up the hut.
Yeah, I feel like we're at like a good docking point, you know? Because then we can just go diagonally across this wasteland to the Tower of Urm. God, I wish we had our car.
We had a car. You traded it away for the boat.
I didn't trade shit, you deaf old man. They're holding it for us.
We'll say this side of the river. You guys could easily just pull the boat up onto the side of the river and get out.
Yeah, cool.
On this side, if that's what you guys are planning on doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you pull the boat up to the side of the river. There's nothing to tie it off onto, so you'd have to...
Yeah, pull it completely off.
Yeah, so no one has to actually get into the water and push it up.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so you can pull the boat out of the water completely. And you guys are kind of on the edge of this bank, and there's just open, kind of, open, hellish wasteland, in your vicinity. Yeah, and then you would see, actually, you might be, you're too far, actually, like, into the west, far, far away. You see what looks like something floating off the ground, with chains just lashed all around it. In this direction. And then you just got pure wasteland, as far as the eye can see.
Well, let's go walking.
Well, I'm gonna de-owl, and I think we should just keep going up the river.
Just following the river, or
Yeah, following the river. I mean, I think we should also try to bring the boat with us because...
You guys wouldn't be able to carry the boat. It's a little too heavy.
Not if I was, like, some kind of animal.
You could try. It's pretty heavy.
Because I'm just thinking, the Tower of Urm is in a lake.
Good point. Good point.
so maybe just go to Stygian Dock, portage to canoe, as it were.
Yeah,
Yep,
are we
yep.
thinking get up towards the dock, cross between these two mountains with our boat?
That was my thought, yeah.
Or just kind of go south along the mountains. Don't have to go over the mountains. We are not Hannibal.
Probably go under the mountains as well.
We don't have to go over the mountains, we can go through them.
It looks like there's a little walkway.
Yeah.
Some kind of valley.
We could
Perhaps
also
in the
leave the
dead.
boat here and just start walking.
Does anybody know how to cast the spell Fly?
No, I can
not
just be a bird.
today.
Okay, well I do. So I can get 2 people airborne, and then
Okay.
Sam, if you can go into your owl form again, you could probably carry me.
Yeah? Yeah, I think I definitely think I could.
Okay, cool.
So first you want us to go. So first we went over the water, and now we're gonna fly.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
I guarantee it will not be as fun as the Griffins, though.
Remind me to be able to locate a steed in the future.
Will do.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
So do we want to try to hike overland or keep going along the river?
Well, if we're not gonna do the boat thing, we should probably just cut through this land rather than walking up and then, you know. Maybe we can try to avoid that giant thing that's labeled here, the Sibriax.
Yeah, I don't really know what that is, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll find our way there at some point, but maybe just not right now.
Yeah.
Are we in agreement?
I think so.
Great.
So we're hiding the boat somewhere. We're doing a hiking trip.
Yes.
Okay. I will say the boat will be a pink square.
Okay.
I'm a little worried that someone might jack our boat.
No one might. You know, it's too bad we don't have any bodies.
I mean, yeah, were the bodies camouflaged, or is this just where he keeps them?
I don't know.
I mean, dead things are not exactly rare in these parts. So, maybe, is there like probably not much in the way of foliage?
Oh, no foliage whatsoever.
No foliage, okay.
No foliage whatsoever on Avernus.
I don't have any kind of magic that I can use to camouflage this.
As do I. But I suppose, like,
I mean,
Like- thinking realistically, we are the only kinds of creatures that are actually negatively affected by the river. Demons and devils, they can do routine swimming routines in the water as they want. So, like, what would really be the chances of them saying, we need a boat? You know?
well, maybe they'd rather like have a little boating vacay than just, splashing around. I don't know what's
Never
down there,
hurts to ask.
but I can hide it for about a day, and that would be it.
So, whenever you guys are ready to head out, just let me know. And we're going to do some fun little mechanics because you guys are going to be walking around.
Do we still have some soul coins? How many of those we got left?
Let's look.
I have 10, I think.
I have 1, 2, 3,
Oh.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 on my person.
I also have 9 on my person.
All right, that's enough. We can get something done.
Hopefully. This is going to be uncomfortable. Anyone know any marching songs?
Nope.
I super do not. That sounds like a Mortis thing.
Mortis is gonna double take. What do you need from me?
Some kind of soldiery marching song thing.
Left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left.
He's best bet is a
Catchy.
nothing.
I would
Um,
argue that nothing might be a little bit better.
But do we want to camp here? And then head out in like the morning, or are we just gonna start walking?
I think we should maybe get as much ground and today as we can. Take a rest. Do more tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah, so we'll just leave the boat.
So,
If
who
Dawn will just
is
have to fight for our car or whatever.
who's charting the course? As you guys look at this map and try to figure out the best way forward, who's charting this
Does
course?
that seem like an intelligence-based thing?
It does not.
Then not me.
The map is the way you see it, you can see where things are laid out. I gave you guys the wrong map anyway. I shouldn't give you the one with the names on it. But looking at the map, it's almost like it's shifting a little too, as you look closer at it. So who is being the navigator for this little trip?
I'll do it, I guess.
All right. Roll me 2d4, Mortis.
No.
Just 2d4, no modifiers or anything. Just roll 2d4,
Oh,
and then let me know what you got.
yes. Just a sec.
Weird question. I wouldn't be able to add Flash or Genius to this. would
This
I?
is not an ability check, so no.
Gotcha. Okay. Figured I'd ask.
That is 4 and a 3.
4 and a 3. Okay. So you start marching in the direction of Urm's tower, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You guys start marching across the wasteland.
Yay.
First half hour, nothing eventful happens.
Maybe we'll luck out and run into some people with a car that we can just jack.
Mortis is
I'd
going to
like
keep
that,
his
Condor.
perception up.
All right, give me a perception check while you guys are marching.
Oh, son of a pup. 3.
3. Don't say anything. Just open wasteland.
Too busy with that map.
And it's very, the heat here is just super oppressive. And you guys are just walking across this wasteland. Slowly yet surely. And then another half hour ends of this travel. And I need Salen and Mortis to make Constitution saving throws
Ooh.
from the oppressive heat and this supernatural malevolence is just weighing on you guys.
Oh, that's really not good. I did a. Yeah, that's only gonna be a 7 from me.
A 7. You take 1 level of exhaustion.
Boo.
19 for me.
19. Mortis, you just power through it and keep marching.
Is there some way I can track that on my character sheet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Conditions, exhaustion.
Ooh.
We dwarves aren't made for sprinting. Long overland treks.
And as you guys are walking, say, going into the second hour, you guys want to do anything while you're walking? Just say them. It takes a level of exhaustion. Sefrin and Kronder are fine. They don't have to make those ability checks. And you guys are just walking along.
So
Yeah, probably just walking. Maybe you want to ask about that Queen of Chaos thing?
yeah, Sefrin is gonna like sidle up to Cronder and just go, okay, I think it's about time we talked about the Taraskin's room.
What do you want?
So, I will just be blunt. What in the holy hell happened with the tower? You went up to the devils, you flashed something
Yes.
about the Queen of Chaos, and they just
Yep.
became as sweet as puppies. What is
What's your deal?
that? Would take a very long time to explain, but we're talking about you right now.
Well, perhaps my deal also takes a really long time.
For you, for this, I think we can manage.
Well, anyways, I don't know. There's just, I've got this little symbol. Sometimes I can flash it around. It gets me what I want.
And how long have you had this symbol?
Since I got to hell. Yeah. What?
I'm sorry, please, you first.
Well, no, you go.
And when did you get to hell?
It's a good question. Time passes really weirdly here. You know, I want to say like a couple months, but it could also just be a few days.
That's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did you figure out you could just hold it up and devils would be nice to you?
I don't know if you noticed, but I'm an old man by myself in hell. I didn't show up here with a group of friends, so the first time I ran into some devils, they tried to rough me up, and they saw the little badge thing, and they're like, "Oh, that was cool." Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to worry about you sacrificing us since the night to the Queen of Chaos, do we?
It's a good question.
That's not comforting.
Probably not.
Oh, boy. What do you know about her?
If you
The name rings a
sacrifice
bell,
us,
but
you're kicked out of Doom Buggy Patrol.
I don't want to be kicked out of Doom Buggy Patrol.
Yeah. Also, I've been calling us that in my head. So
I love it.
thank you.
What do I know about her? I know everything about her. Yeah.
give us a primer.
It's not really. I don't really know if I'm allowed to do that.
Try us.
No, I mean like, she might like kill me where I stand the moment I try to start talking about her. And like, I really don't know. I really don't know what the parameters of our relationship is.
Sounds like the lady who rules over Sigil. Going to be enigmas within curiosities within enigmas.
Yeah, I mean, or it's a fake badge and he's full of shit.
That is also entirely a possibility. Also, the reaction from the devils certainly would give his story some authenticity. If he was simply bullshitting, I'm not sure we would have gotten quite as warm a welcome from tin-bearded devils and those egg-shaped things.
Oh, that
I
was
don't
a
know, I
warm
mean-
welcome.
They're kind of stupid. They just do what people tell them. You know, like if you were just like, "Grr, I'm a higher ranked devil than you," they'd probably just do whatevs. It's pretty dumb.
how
Pretty
most
stupid.
humans are.
That's why I went to go live in the woods.
Nice. Now tell me, what was living in the woods like? Where did you learn your magic? He's gonna take out his little notebook and his little quill.
I was wandering in the woods,
Great.
and I was supposed to be visiting some relatives,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't do that.
Love that.
So I ran into this really nice old lady,
Mm-hmm.
and she just kind of taught me to like commune with nature and about like all the powers of like spiders and like poisonous stuff like that. She was pretty cool.
Dope.
Yeah, she might have been a hag. I'm realizing now.
She was probably a hag.
Did she look like Mad Maggie or?
Nope, she just looked like a regular old lady.
I
Like
mean,
an
as
old
long as she
human
didn't
lady.
cook and eat you.
As far as I'm aware, she didn't, but maybe she did, and I'm dead and in hell. So either way.
Either way.
Either way.
Eventually, the second hour begins to end, and you guys are still walking. I need Constitution saving throws again from Salen and Mortis.
Wait, do I have anything because of the exhaustion?
Not yet.
Okay, cool.
Oh, crap.
Oh my god, that's even worse. Okay. Yeah, I
I
feel
got
that.
7.
7. Mortis, you take 1 level of exhaustion, and Salen, you take another level of exhaustion, so you're at 2 levels of exhaustion.
Woo.
Hey, y'all aren't looking so good.
And while you guys are walking, you see a 2-wheeled infernal machine kind of parked next to a large rock, and standing atop the rock, peeing into the hot wind, is a slender elf-like figure. He's got like a crown of like brambles, and he's wearing like very leafy foliage-esque clothes, like a cloak of just leaves, and just leather that looks like it's dyed green, big boots, and he's got like a scimitar strapped to his side.
Hold up. You said he's pissing into the wind?
Correct.
Yeah.
So he's splattering himself with
Correct.
his own piss?
Yeah, he's just like sitting there, just peeing into the wind. He's got like his motorcycle parked nearby, and he kind of turns around and just doesn't. He just turns around and it just dangles in the wind, and he looks at you all and goes, "Oh, hello!" And he kind of giggles to himself, and he looks like he's a similar kind of elf as Salen. He's just like, "Hello,
Have
hello."
some respect, cretin. Put it away.
Oh, my apologies, and he tucks it away.
Doing.
Peeing.
Obviously,
Like,
why were you
generally.
peeing?
What?
Why were you peeing into the wind?
I mean,
Why
is
wouldn't
there a
I?
good answer for that?
Hello.
Hi.
Guten
Hi.
Tag.
Where you going?
What's your name?
Oh, hi. I'm Smiler the Defiler.
Smiler
Oh.
the Defiler.
It's a terrible name.
Yeah, that's a shit name. Sorry.
Oh,
What do you defile?
everything.
Ugh, terrible answer.
Come on, man. You gotta have a thing. Like, you gotta be specific.
Okay,
about this.
my thing is I can accomplish anything with a positive attitude.
There you go. There you go. You got
I
your
mean, that's
thing.
something.
And a death-defying stunt.
Can I have your motorcycle?
No.
What the Why not?
Because it's mine.
Where'd you get it?
Mad Maggie.
For fuck's sakes. How'd you get it across the river?
I jumped it. Harmon's Hill.
Oh, fuck, I told you guys.
You know, we were talking about doing stuff with our tormentor, and
You should have.
it seemed like the physics. was not
You should have
that
done
good.
it. You should have done it.
That sounds fucking dope.
I bet. Yeah, just a sec. This jump off Harriman's Hill. Do many people make it?
Nope.
Eh.
Do most people die?
No, they land in the river.
Fair enough.
That's worse.
That's
Yeah.
even worse.
Okay, well, the thing is that our friends here are like really struggling with the heat or whatever.
That sucks.
We could really use your motorcycle.
In front of him.
No, it's mine.
Fine.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna point my staff at him and cast Blight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Everybody roll initiative.
Oh, that's cocked. Too bad. Oh, that's okay.
Oh, man. Everybody roll initiative for this. And then do Blight first.
This one with our thing, and that's a 2.
Okay, I'll just ask real quick what everyone gets.
Yeah. We can all fit on a motorbike, though.
So we can sell it.
It's only two people can fit on it.
Ooh.
Okay, so man, that's funny. Okay, what Mortis get for initiative?
12.
12.
Bronze over 10.
Okay, Salen.
I actually got an 18.
18.
So I did good this time.
Sefrin.
2.
Kronder.
6.
6. Okay, so we'll say do your Blight first. Constitution saving
Okay.
throw.
Yes, please.
Okay. Advantage on that because of something he has.
Fuck that guy.
That is a 18.
That saves.
He just giggles as the Blight hits him in the chest.
He still takes half damage.
Yes.
Okay. Whew. It's still 20 points of necrotic damage after being halved.
Okay. Anything else? You just hit him in the oh wait, that was never mind. You don't have anything else. That's not your turn. So
Yeah.
poof, hits him in the chest and he just laughs loudly. Salen, it's your turn.
I mean, I honestly think for my turn, I'm just probably gonna yell, "Kronder, what the hell?"
Okay.
And yeah.
All right, that'll bring it to Smiler the Defiler, and he's just gonna cock his head a little bit, like he's confused as to why you attacked him. And he is going to look like he's hurt. And he's going to cast Suggestion on Kronder. I need a Wisdom saving throw, Kronder.
Okay. Wisdom?
Yep.
18.
18. So he's going to say, just turn around and walk in the other direction until you get to the river. And then you save, so you don't feel obligated to just do that for 8 hours.
That's good.
And then he's just going to phase step as a bonus action onto his Infernal War Machine. Just... But he can't start it because it's an action. And that'll bring it to Mortis.
So we are attacking this guy now?
I am.
Mortis is going to look around.
So
and
he's about 40 feet away because he teleported onto his on his war machine.
I am not a 40-foot away kind of character. Wisdom throw would be charmed. Mortis is just gonna start running forward.
Okay.
25 feet.
Okay.
And
That-
that is his action.
That'll bring us to Lulu, who's just going to be like, why are we attacking this guy? And that'll bring it to Kronder.
Great. I am gonna pull back and cast Mel's Acid Arrow at
Okay.
3rd level.
That's a dexterity saving throw?
No, it's a roll to
Attack roll.
hit.
Oh, that's right.
That's why I use it. Useful against devils.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Not great.
What'd you get?
I can't do math. 11.
11? Nah, it just doesn't hit. Just peppers the ground around him.
Fuck. Okay. Wait, I'll use my movement to get 25 feet closer.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
That'll bring us to Sefrin.
Oh, are we killing him? Fair enough. He'll take out one of her vials, shake it up, uncork it, and cast the Ray of Sickness. at
Okay.
2nd level.
Go for it.
Right. Plus 8. That is a thing. That is a 16.
Does not hit.
Darn.
Just whoosh into the rock behind him.
Oh, alright.
Anything else?
Force strike then.
Okay, so Schwartz fly. He's 40 feet away. How far can Schwartz fly?
I believe he has a pretty good movement speed if I recall correctly. Let me look. 30-foot flying speed.
So he's 40 feet away.
Okay, well, thankfully Force Strike is arranged.
There you go. So yeah, Schwartz can.
Pew, pew. Hopefully this will work slightly better. As a 22.
22 does hit.
Okay.
Schwartz flies over and just. Poof.
Okay, that is 4 points of force damage.
4 points of force damage. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. That'll bring us to the top of the turn order with attacking this clearly insane elf.
I just feel like I need to put this guy out of his misery, but I also am not that invested in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna do anything.
Okay.
Like, probably just like kind of look at Lulu and just be like, yeah, I mean, you know what? He has the name Defiler in his name. She's gonna wild shape into an elk and charge the guy.
Okay, he is on his motorcycle. He's 40 feet away.
Okay, yeah, I've got 50 feet of movement. So
Okay,
as
so
an elk.
you charge towards him.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna make a ram attack.
Okay, let me double check something. Vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You charge him.
Oh fuck, that's a natural one.
Oof.
So kind of some dust gets in your eye from the sand,
Yeah.
and you just kind of
I'm so tired.
you misjudge your charge a little bit. Anything else?
That's gonna be it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just looking at regular elk.
Okay, he pops the coin into the. Well, actually, it would still be running. So he doesn't need to pop a coin into it. He just takes off in the opposite direction, full speed on this bike, which has 120 feet of movement, and he's just going to dash action 240 feet away. Just on his turn. Just drive away 240 feet. Effectively getting away from everybody because no one can keep up with that. So
Yeah.
that ends the encounter as he just drives off across the wasteland.
Well, that was 2 seconds of excitement.
Snort.
God damn it.
It would have been nice. Pathetically. I mean, you know, Zalian turns into an owl, carries Rhonda Then me and Mortis just ride off into the sunset. That came out wrong.
Would have been helpful for sure.
You guys can still see like the dust getting kicked up by the motorcycle as it just keeps going.
Where does it look like he's going? Are we headed in the same direction?
Just he drove off in a random direction. He kind of drove off this way.
Well,
He drove off to like the northwest.
he's probably gonna die. It's fine.
Probably.
Well,
Back to the ridiculously boring march.
yeah. I'm gonna stay in Elk for about 4 hours.
Okay, you go back to doing
And walk.
the march.
I was just talking about how I wish we would run into somebody who had those infernal fucking machines and let that one get away. Oh, I'm so mad about that.
Well, maybe we'll run into the werewolf's brother, hungry for revenge, and then we jack his shit.
Perhaps.
One can only hope.
My spell should have hurt him more.
Yeah, in hindsight, I could have maybe shrunk. I could have probably shrunken his vehicle.
Would have been hilarious.
Yeah. Would remind me of the circus. Well, 99 bottles of ale on the wall, 99 bottles of ale. Take one down, pass it around. 98
Bottles of beer
ale
on the wall.
And then we'll say that all that encounter and then the walking and the singing will get us to the end of the 3rd hour. So I need Mortis and Salem to make Constitution saving throws.
To be merciful, I'll give Flash of Genius to Salem.
Okay, what does that mean?
+5.
Okay. So that is going to be 17.
17 succeeds.
Cool.
You power through that exhaustion and you keep marching. Mortis.
Mortis got a 8.
Mortis, you
Oof.
whoa, 2nd level of exhaustion.
Are
Since
we gonna
Mortis is-
sleep at some point? Because
Yeah,
I'm ready to
about-
pass out.
I was about to say, you're looking rough. We should maybe make camp.
I think I was wrong. Dwarves are meant for sprinting, not
We'll say-
not long distance.
You guys are
track.
probably right here.
Where are we?
I missed that. Where are we?
Okay.
Oh, we're this guy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
We're doing amazing.
Making good time.
Use a rest.
all right, let me put up my little hut.
Okay,
Just
you take the time to start casting Tiny Hut.
Yeah?
All right. I will ritually cast Liamon's tiny hut.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Alright. No personal boundaries, cuddle pile, let's go.
There's enough room for personal boundaries.
Thank you, Kronder. I appreciate that.
Also, inside it's like nice and comfortable and dry and like not overbearingly hot.
Air conditioned.
Yeah.
Mhm. And also, Tiny Hut creatures actually can't enter the hut unless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's just basically like a big dome of just magic
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the wasteland.
Sure no one will notice.
You guys going right to sleep first thing?
Probably.
We should probably run shifts for lookout.
So here's the thing with Tiny Hut, you don't need to worry about that because no one can get into the hut or hurt you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, they could just camp out around the hut
Or,
and wait
you
for
know,
us to poke
just-
our heads out.
Dispel.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take on like the same color as like the sand around us.
Okay, I'll say it's pretty well hidden then.
I'm going to bed. And I'm just going to, like, face plant
Okay.
onto my bedroll.
Yeah. Sefrin will get her the battle elixir from Mortis and kind of dump the now quite sludgified contents out. Go,
Mhm.
Ooh.
all right, well, let's see what tomorrow will bring. She'll put in some more really not fun-looking ingredients that she most likely scavenged from a few demon corpses into these stoppered bottles. Just an eye, toenail, some fungus I found. Put that in there.
Right. The old men are passing out, and Mortis is fast asleep again.
Okay.
Yeah. And once the elixirs are prepped, Sefrin will pass out.
Cool. Yeah, I don't really sleep as long as you. Like, so I'll probably just spend some time like meditating and just being like, don't end up like that guy, Smiler. Don't end up like Smiler.
Okay. So
You can do it.
you guys all go to sleep.
Mhm.
Mortis and Salen, you guys both lose 1 level of exhaustion
Hooray.
because long rests you only lose 1 level per long rest.
Yeah.
And everyone gains the benefits of a long rest. Still, though, actually, you know what? I'm thinking here. And as like the long rest ends and the tiny hut disappears because it lasts 8 hours exactly, I do need Salen and Mortis to make wisdom saving throws.
Okay.
As like this, the evil is just like of this plane is still like just permeating.
Can I just like give Mortis guidance? Can I cast guidance? Or is that? Oh no, it's ability checks.
Yeah. So it wisdom saving throws for both of you.
Boop 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 boop. Wisdom saving
22.
throw. Yeah, I got a 21.
All right, you guys shrug off that evil presence, and everyone wakes up perfectly fine.
Oh, yes, that was a nice rest. Let's see what today brings.
And
for
that
the
said,
magic of alchemy.
when you guys wake up, you're not in the same place you rested at. It's almost like your walk and the weird nature of this hellscape has completely put you in the wrong direction based on Mortis's like direction that he went. You guys ended up kind of after all that time all the way like kind of right here.
Oh well.
You kind of just went west. We're just walking west the entire time. That means whenever you guys are ready to set out, I will need somebody else to do the, or if Mortis wants to do it again, do the little check to see if you guys can go in the right direction.
Yeah, so I'm just picking my spells.
I'm also picking my spells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need new ones. New fun ones.
Oh, yes. No, that's actually a good point. I need to switch something out.
Okay, well, while that's happening, who will be the charting? Who will be charting the course this time around?
So it's just roll some d4s?
Yes. 2 of
I
them.
will do it if nobody objects to it.
Okay.
Oh, feel free.
It's just luck.
That means Salen will be leading the march.
Alright.
So that is a 3. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Like a match?
Like,
Oh wait, sorry. Hold on a second. Mortis,
Okay.
you rolled. Okay, sorry. Mortis actually would have chosen the right direction.
Yay.
Mortis would have got the right direction. So you guys are actually just on the bank of this lake of the river Styx, and you can see the tower jutting up out of the
Amazing.
Wow,
out of
good
the
work.
Good job, Mortis.
out of the water.
Wow, we have to stand.
Yeah,
I did well for that one.
All right, so
Sick.
Also, the
roll
first thing I
a-
do is cast Mage Armor when I wake up.
Okay.
understood.
And yeah.
Flight and transformation.
Okay. And as you guys kind of get to the bank of this lake, an iron tower rises atop an island on a lake of boiling blood. No windows penetrate the tower's walls, and its only visible door opens onto a high balcony. Red lightning crackles constantly between two horns of metal on the tower's roof.
Kronder's like so obviously thrilled, like so excited, is practically vibrating.
I mean, that is a very impressive wizard tower.
Oh, I'm
Kronder?
so excited. What?
Can your abyssal chicken fly?
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
Not that well, though.
Not very well though.
Oh, I thought maybe it would be like polite to, send a little messenger familiar to just say, "Sup,
I can do that,
we
Frost
seek an
can fly.
audience."
and I can
True,
imbue him
yeah.
with speech.
That's even better. I was gonna start tying a scroll to a chicken leg, so
Yeah, I can only
Yeah.
fly 30 feet before I just kind of down again.
that's
Yeah.
very cute.
Yeah. I forgot
So
I had this
what,
little buddy.
what message would we want to send to this Mordenkainen?
As you guys are talking about sending this message to this Mordenkainen, doors on the top of the tower open up, and you can see this stern, bald man with a neatly trimmed black goatee and penetrating stare kind of step out onto the balcony. And below, at the base of the tower, he's like he's talking down to from this balcony. You see 9 kind of creatures. They look very familiar to the Mesoloths you guys were met with in Elturel, with that vampire guy. Those like blue centipede-like things, like with the mandibles. And also 3 other fiends that are like large, green, kind of ogre-like fiends with wings. And he's speaking down at them. You can't really figure out what he's saying to them. He's just basically just addressing them about some things. And then he kind of just gestures. He kind of looks and sees the 4 of you kind of standing across this lake. He just tilts his head a little bit. And then goes back to speaking to the fiends. And then eventually the fiends kind of disperse. And then he snaps his fingers. And the 4 of you are teleported to the base of his tower. And he's looking down from the balcony.
Hi.
wow.
Greetings.
Huge fan.
Wow, that was so much easier.
Yeah.
So,
Guess we don't need spats after all.
No.
what are you doing here in Avernus?
That is a very long story.
It's
What-
not a long story for me.
Well, what
I'm
are you
just on
looking
the hunt
for?
of knowledge.
Interesting. Well, what are you looking for down here?
The sword of Zariel.
Yeah. Apparently.
Ah,
Old sword.
and where is it located?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's in the Bleeding Citadel. Ah. Interesting. Well, I don't know the location of that place, nor do I care to find it.
Please let me in.
No. That said,
Oh my god.
I feel like balance will be maintained in the universe if I give you directions to another mage who actually studies the workings of the magic here.
Oh my god, please just let me read some of your books. Just any book.
No.
Just
Oh.
give him. Wow. I guess wizards. Mortis is just
Wizards.
shaking his head.
Yeah, I'm
Is
like probably
Kronder
standing
crying?
back with Mortis,
Yes.
just being like, "Oh, wizards."
If
I
you-
mean, I knew wizards in Candlekeep, and yes, it can be slightly antisocial.
I'm trying to talk. Please stop interrupting me.
Sorry.
If you want to figure things out, go find this another mage I know. He's of no renown. He haunts the site of an obelisk, just hangs out there.
An obelisk?
An obelisk.
Is there any obelisks on our map?
There is far
Oh.
to the west, it seems.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That is where you should go.
I don't see it.
It's
Oh, I
by
see
that.
it. I see it.
Yeah.
I got there. Yeah.
Cool. Gotta walk by right that big wingle dingle.
So, that is your path.
Does this fellow have a name? Should we bring a gift? What is the etiquette in this situation? Thank you for taking the time to see with us.
I don't know his name. He's of no renown, as I mentioned. I couldn't care less what his name was.
Doesn't even have any nouns.
I'm just such a big fan of your work.
That's wonderful, thank you.
Can you sign this? And I'm gonna like pull out my book.
1 minute. And he snaps his fingers and he reappears in front of Kronder. Do you have a quill?
Yes. Here you go.
You're a bit of a nerd, aren't you, over there?
Shut the fuck up, old man.
And he just
Why don't you make me, old man?
he just scribbles in like the inside cover of your book, Mordenkainen.
Thank you so much.
All right. Goodbye. And he teleports back to the balcony and goes back inside the tower and shuts the doors.
Okay.
Hey,
Fucking wizards. Always
Okay.
acting like they're better than everyone else.
yeah, I'd be remiss if I did not agree. Personal experience. Well, at least I think 3 out of the 4 of us can fly at least.
Yeah.
You know, could one of you carry Mortis?
Do we have to?
I mean,
Would
You
you
want to
rather
swim?
Would you rather be carried, or would you rather fly on your own?
I mean, I have this really cool pony now.
Can it walk across water?
Or boiling
can
blood?
it?
Wait, what?
Alright. Who's carrying me?
Oh yeah, he never teleported you guys back to the other side of the lake.
How much does Mortis weigh? And is it more than 390 pounds?
Oh, that reminds me. He's gonna open the doors of the tower and say, "Oh, apologies," and snap his fingers and teleport you guys back to the other side where you were.
Thanks.
Danke.
That was, nice of him.
And he closes the doors.
Do you all even understand, like, how insanely powerful that was?
No, I think I've made it very clear that I'm not even trying.
And as you guys are kind of sitting there, and Kronder is just like fangirling.
That's like easily 7th level magic.
Um,
Did it? Boom, boom, boom.
you guys
Mortis,
watch.
What the fuck is a level?
You guys watch as the tower kind of disconnects from the bottom, like it's attached to something at the base of this whatever, lifts up into the air and disappears. Like as almost like the tower itself just teleports away.
That tower looked like
Alright.
a dong, I'm just saying.
This is what I'm talking about when I say fuck the weird wizard shit.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yes, but you're also a wizard, you shriveled old bag.
Listen here, you rust bucket. I will literally melt you into the sand.
None of
And
us squish you in first.
as you guys
don't
are
even need to dig you a grave.
as you guys
Don't
are
make me cast friends on you two.
as you guys are standing here and arguing, you see dust kind of kicking up from the west, coming towards you, like very close.
Oh.
And you can see the familiar sight of a tormentor vehicle. Not yours, but you can see a tormentor. It's like red with blood just all over it, and standing kind of in the driver's seat, standing up and steering it. You see this devil with a long tail and 2 curved horns and a helmet that's kind of got smoke building up from it.
You know, if we keep standing here, he's probably gonna charge at
And
us, right?
where the harpoon flinger is, there's something else, like a weird weapon you don't really recognize. And you see hobgoblins like also covered in armor, kind of on the vehicle. One like manning the weapon, and also behind the tormentor, you see another motorcycle with another hobgoblin sitting on it, and just driving this motorcycle towards you guys, and a pair of very large vehicles called scavengers
Ooh.
also coming towards you that have like grappling cloaks and two harpoon flingers, crewed by more hobgoblins, and all these vehicles are just coming towards you guys, and kind of impaled on the front of the tormentor is the body of Smither the Defiler, just waving around as from the speed of this vehicle jettisoning towards you guys. And that's where we're going to end the session for the week.
All right. Next week you get GTA up in here.
So,
Oh boy, I finally got my pony too.
and
That's a great spell.
yeah,
Mortis is gonna get himself. He's gonna conjure himself a nice little fiend pony.
but yeah, that's where we're going to end the session for the week. So, thank you everybody for watching. We'll be back next week with the continuation of this as they meet another one of these crews that and then yeah, Wednesday, come check us out. We're gonna be doing a one shot again. We're gonna be doing a little bit of a quick run through on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna do a run through of Dead and Fae, the Doom Vault, and then that's you can't do it for a one shot. We're gonna try to do like at least a little bit of it, and then 10:30 p.m. Eastern time Wednesday, episode 57 of Beneath the Tide, or D&D Pirate Campaign. Thursday night, we're getting back into Shadows over Ravenloft, our Ravenloft campaign. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then Sunday, hopefully 1 p.m. Eastern